diplomacy doesn't work, but in these kind of situations, I think you have to be Finnish. Take a deep breath, take a cold bath, sauna, breathe, get back to the negotiating table. These things happen sometimes.
What's the way forward?
The way forward is to get President Zelensky and President Trump to communicate again and to get a minerals deal. I think that'll probably be a tipping point for a bigger deal towards a ceasefire and then towards peace negotiations. I don't think we are as far away as probably the public indicates.
We heard from the NATO Secretary General that it is up to President Zelensky to repair his relationship with President Trump. Do you agree?
I think it always takes two to tango. You know, sometimes what happens in marriage or in other types of relationships, you sort of go into your corner and sulk, but you have to come out of there, have a conversation, shake hands, and move on.
And do you think we're close to that point?
I hope we're moving. I mean, I think one of the things that we're trying to do in London with this summit organized by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is to get a reading of the 3 meetings that were held with President Trump last week, take the best parts of it and find a way forward.
What does Europe need to do now, though?
We need to have a plan. One of the problems is that we have sort of this cacophonic diplomacy. We have different types of groupings and organizations dealing with different types of things. If we want to have an initiative, there needs to be a European and Ukrainian peace plan with which we can then talk with President Trump and later on with President Putin.
Breaking news. Finnish authorities release official press statement on Mazi Simon Èkpá in Finland. Hear the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome once again to Biafra Unite channel/television this very moment. Today's date is 10th of May 2025, and I have a very important information and video clip for every one of you listening to my voice right now from wherever you are all over the world. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, it don't happen. And I want you to pay very good attention to this very news, because it's very, very important, I can assure you, my people. The news reaching our news desk has it that Finnish authorities have finally concluded their investigation on Mazi Simon Èkpá alleged terrorism offenses. And then they have released an official statement concerning this very latest development. So I am here to bring this very news to your doorsteps. And again, I have a video clip which I'm going to be playing for you at the very end of the video. So I want you to stay tuned. Don't miss any line. As a Biafran and lover of freedom, you must not miss any line till the very end. I want all of us to read. I have 2 different information from 2 different official Finnish news platforms. So the first one is coming from YLE, which is one of the main news platforms in Finland. After this, I will show you another one from a different platform, another official news platform in Finland, and then play the video for you in conclusion. So according to their own title, they said, Finland's NBI suspect Biafran separatist leader of terrorism-related offenses. Police detained the Finnish Nigeria former municipal politician last November along with 4 other individuals. They said Finnish Nigerian politician. This is what they know, right? And what they believe. But we all know, we, the people of Biafra and the zoo themselves, everybody is aware that Mazi Simon Èkpá has officially denounced his engagement and citizenship with the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. First of all, he turned his passport on a national television, on a camera, and then he subsequently returned all the medals he won for the zoo called Nigeria and completely washed his hands off anything that has to do with the zoo. All these things are on record. So I'm not going to blame the Finnish, newspaper for writing this, because this is what they believe. Now, let's read the news in full details. Finland's National Bureau of Investigation, NBI, suspect a former municipal politician from Lahti, Simon Èkpá, of serious crimes. Following a preliminary investigation, the NBI said it suspects Èkpá of public exhortation to an offense committed with a terrorist intent and of contributing to the activities of a terrorist group. The suspicion stemmed from a large-scale terrorism investigation carried out by the law enforcement agency. Police detained the Finnish Nigeria former municipal politician last November along with 4 other individuals. Now, this is the official statement, the press release we are talking about now. As we suspected that the consequences of the public exhortation and the activities of a terrorist group occurred in Nigeria, we cooperated with the Nigeria authorities during the criminal investigation. The lead investigator, Detective Superintendent Otto Hitunen, said in a press release on Tuesday. I know why I'm taking it gradually so you understand it properly. Otto Hitunen, this man is detective and superintendent of Finnish police. He said in a press release on Tuesday. Now, pay attention. Let us speak briefly about this. I want to digress a little. According to his statement, he said, "We cooperated with the Nigerian authorities during the criminal investigation." Now, I want you to note this. We cooperated. Some of you who do not understand what is going on may say, so Finland is cooperating with Nigeria to carry out this kind of act against Biafrans, so that means they do not like us. No, it is not like that. And I want you to differentiate. I want you to separate these 2 words, or 3 words if I may say. Cooperation. Cooperating with the zoo is different with, colluding with the zoo or collaborating with the zoo. These are 2 different words. Collaborating with the zoo, colluding with the zoo, and cooperating with the zoo are different. You can cooperate to do something that you don't want to do because you just want to do it, at least to show that you have done it. That is cooperation. But it's not your mind. Your heart is not there. But you need to cooperate, at least to show that, yes, I have done it. That is cooperation. But colluding or collaborating is when you are intentionally colluding with a third party to commit a crime or to do something intentionally. That is collaboration or colluding with Nigeria to do this against my Simon Èkpá and Biafrans at large. So they are different. I can assure you, for them using this word is a relief to me. Many of you may not understand it. They say, we cooperated. They cooperated with the zoo because the zoo and other, bodies, especially Britain, have been accusing Finland of shielding Mazi Simon Èkpá. You also the so-called CDS Musa making videos upon videos accusing Finnish authority, Finland government, of shielding Mazi Simon Èkpá. You all saw it. So they have to cooperate, yes, to carry out both the arrest, the detention, and the investigation. And anybody thinking that Finland is going to do anything other than what they have done already, you are joking. And the zoo is aware. That's why they are now retracing. That's why they are now retracting their words. You saw yesterday, I gave you the news yesterday, where their so-called Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, was ranting, denying what he has already said about them, trying to extradite Mazi Simon Èkpá to the zoo. So they know. They know that they have failed. They also said that they are waiting to see the outcome before they know the next line of action. That's why they are delaying the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They would have used that accelerated trial to do something bad. But they have seen that what they thought about Simon Èkpá is not what is going to happen. That's why they have started. Can't you see that they have started again to delay? It's no longer accelerated trial, so to say. They are now delaying it, taking it gradually, postponing it, till further not to even keep as well. How long? I don't know. Because they have seen that what they thought that could have happened to Mazi Simon Èkpá is not going to happen. So he choked them. Now, let's read. The other 4 individuals were released during the course of the investigation, the NBI said. Èkpá has been implicated in criminal activities before. In 2023, Finnish police detained him on suspicion of fundraising fraud, but he was released later the same evening. Èkpá's separatist activism has drawn global attention, particularly his calls to boycott Nigeria elections. He has also publicly justified the use of violence. You see, the zoo is the one who brought the violence to Biafrans. Biafrans have never for one day planned to defend ourselves. And Biafrans are not violent, and Biafrans can never ever be violent. But when you speak, they shut you down with bullet. When you say, I want to be free, they shut you down with bullet. What do you expect? Look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What did he do? He has been held in solitary confinement since 2021 in a DSS dungeon in Abuja. What do you expect others to do? When the Biafran people come out on the street to protest with ordinary placards, they mawu them. The zoo police, the Nigerian police and army maul the Biafran youths in the broad daylight on a regular basis. So what do you expect us to do? Somebody must rise up to defend his people, and that is what Mazi Simon Èkpá is doing. So it's not about violence. Self-defense is the inalienable right of every human being all around the world, not only in Europe and America. It is all around the world, everywhere in the world. You cannot fold your arms and watch people to come and cut off your head. It is only a tree that here that they are coming to cut it off, and that tree will still stand there. As a human being, when you hear that somebody is coming to destroy you, it's either you run or you defend yourself. That is the truth. That is the gospel truth. It's like that all over the world. And there is no any law that prohibits self-defense. And that is what the Biafran people are doing. And that is what Mazi Simon Èkpá is leading. Now, the case is headed to the Deputy Prosecutor General for consideration of charges. Oh, so you are about to charge him. So all the allegations, all this why there have never been charges against Mazi Simon Èkpá. It was just verbal allegations, terrorism and criminality, blah blah blah, those nonsense. He has never been charged. Now they have concluded their investigation. Is about to time to charge him to court. You see? But the zoo media will be giving you fake news everywhere. Now, Nigeria, who did this to the zoo? Every day they give you fake news, fake informations. Thank God that you have people like Biafra Unite and other genuine broadcasters. Or let me not even talk about Biafra Unite. Thank God that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came and opened our eyes and made us to understand the importance of media and publicity. If not, if we were still listening to Radio Biafra alone, and you see the way they are using Radio Biafra to do caricatures since 2021, so let's continue. Now, I want to show you from a different platform. This one is from Daily News Finland. I'm not going to analyze it because the news is a bit similar. So I'm going to read it in full and then play the video for you. So pay attention while I take you through the news. And according to their title, they said, ex-Finnish Nigerian politician suspected of terrorism offense. Wow. The National Bureau of Investigation, NBI, suspected one person of public exhortation to an offense committed with a terrorist intent and of contributing to the activities of a terrorist group, said NBI in a press release on Tuesday. According to local media, the suspect is identified as Simon Èkpá, a Finnish Nigeria former politician of Lahti. The NBI completed the large criminal investigation into terrorist offenses stated in autumn 2024, and the case has been submitted to the Deputy Prosecutor General for consideration of charges. You see? During the criminal investigation, 5 persons were held on remand, 4 of them on suspicion of financing a terrorist offense. 4 of the suspects were released during the investigation. The suspect, who was held on remand throughout the criminal investigation, is suspected of public exhortation to an offense committed with a terrorist intent and of contributing to the activities of a terrorist group. This is a mere allegation by the zoo government, the zoo terrorist government. Let me tell you, the zoo is the real terrorist, not individuals, because they fan terrorism. Are you paying attention? They fan it, they train it. Even the soldiers, the army, the official Nigerian army is a Boko Haram infested military. That's why they go about, they don't just unalive people, but they butcher them. They even play with their legs, their intestine, their hands. The videos are everywhere. Evidences are bound. The videos are everywhere. I'm not just making up. I want Finland to make also investigations on the zoo army and police. Yes, because some of the, or should I say, many of these videos contain gory images and you can play them on the social media. But when you're on WhatsApp groups, you see the videos. They share it everywhere. What are we even talking about? Now, in conclusion here, as we suspected that the consequences of the public exhortation and the activities of terrorist group occurred in Nigeria, we cooperated with the Nigerian authorities during the criminal investigation, said head of investigation, Detective Superintendent Otto Hitunen of the NBI. So if you pay attention, you see that it's almost the same thing. It's the same news that I read from the other side, but I wanted to show you from two different platforms, which are official news platforms of Finland, so that you will understand that this is official. And then I'm going to go ahead to play the video for you. So my people, watch the video to Salo Nomozia and make it go viral.
Okay, thank you for coming to Finland. I can understand your heart, how much you're wishing to see Simon to be free. And unfortunately, the situation has been so long. And there was an article in like a daily newspaper, afternoon paper, 2 days ago. And I don't know outcome. They say that this investigation is already done, and now they are like thinking if they have a foundation to accuse about this, what they are talking about. So it's now still on the process. And just I understood that Simon is asking that you are peacefully waiting and not to make too much noise, just peacefully, because we cannot really do so much from outside. It's like legal process, and they are doing this as they can. So I'm sorry, I cannot say more than that.
Yeah, I'm so too. Thank you.
But I must just encourage you and hope all the best. And sometimes politics is so wicked, so confused, and so difficult to understand. All the best, keep healthy, and give a hope.
Yes.
And in the end, I hope that truth will prevail, and goodness and righteousness will be on power. All the best for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people, lots of freedom all over the world. Once again, as you all know, this is Let's Talk TV. This is Let's Talk TV, and you know what we do here, because we will try our possible best to always give you the legit information on issues trending, happening in Biafran territory. All you have to do is to always try as much as possible, to check our videos, share our videos to Biafrans especially, because when it pertains to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, when it pertains to Simon Èkpá and Joko, when it pertains to Biafra, exposing and revealing all the atrocious things, being committed by the zoo government on Biafrans, we will do well to always inform you. Now, speaking on Mazi Simon Èkpá Njoku, you've actually heard the news, from the right source. When you're talking about the right source, people who have been in the game of giving out information, important information in Biafran land, we will mention, any platform without mentioning first Odinawa Biafran Unite, who has been, leading anything that has to do with media when it comes to Biafran land. You might like him, you might hate him, but the fact is that he remains clean and pure, when it comes to giving out information and doing his own part in making sure that the people of Biafran get the truth, to Biafrans, both those in diaspora and those living in the homeland. Now, having said that, Mazi Simon Èkpá's Njoku case, for me, I'll keep on saying it, it is now something that has entered international politics. Even the young man, the person giving up, the information revealing the statement, the issue surrounding Mazi Simon Èkpá's case, you will understand that he is also trying to be careful with the kind of information he gives out. He's being very, very careful with the kind of information he gives out, because it has gotten to that level of, political, international politics. Because I still don't understand the reason why Simon Èkpá Njoku is still being under the Finnish government or prison. I still don't understand why he's still being held. Now, I feel there is an ongoing quest, or program, as the case may be, that is working against, heroes rising in Africa. Now, they've realized that Africans are now getting wiser on daily basis, and not just wiser, they are getting stronger. That is why people like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is an integral part of this wisdom that is coming to Africa, because he has been able to open the eyes of so many of us to see, to know, what these people have actually done to us, have done to our resources and all that. Look at Ibrahim Traore and see what he's doing, for example, now. And see how these other countries are trying to fight him. France and the rest of them, they are trying to suppress him. Now, they know that Africa has a lot of resources. Not just resources, Africa is well gifted. Africans have the strength, and they also have the wisdom. If they can actually, work on these things that that God has blessed them with, you will find out that we, at the end, we do not need any help from any international communities. And because of what these people are gaining from Africa, they will do everything possible to frustrate. They will frustrate just for them, to continue to eat from Africa. It's as simple as that. So this whole Simon Èkpá Njoku's case is now a political issue. It is political. Go and mark my word, and it is political. Anyhow they want to twist it. But like I said, we'll keep on being optimistic, not because of we are hopeful that we believe in their system, but we'll be optimistic for only one reason. For me, I just want to be optimistic for only one reason. I've tried to check the records of Finland, and I've never seen any issue of Finland getting involved, with any kind of criminality, any kind of criminality that has led, someone being held against his human right. Now, what does the law of Finland say? That is another angle to this whole matter. But in everything, one thing we keep on advocating, anyhow they want to run the case, whether in favor of Prime Minister Simon Èkpá or in favor of the zoo government, one thing we want to know and one thing we'll keep on saying is the fact that come what may, we'll keep on raising our voices high, concerning the immediate release of the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá Njoko, because we know his importance. We know what he's doing for our people. We know the fight he is fighting for our people. And we know that the zoo government will do everything possible to frustrate him out. It's as simple as that. So that is that on the issue of Mazi Simon Èkpá Njoko. A lot is going down. In fact, let me even drop another video concerning this whole issue so that you will understand, what they are trying to do to the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá Njoko, just to take him out totally.
The president of Burkina Faso, in the person of Ibrahim Traoré, has successfully landed in Finland, a country located in Europe. When Ibrahim Traoré arrived in Finland, the president of Finland, in the person of Alexander Stubb, sent a letter of invitation to Burkina Faso's president and the person of Ibrahim Traoré, so as he can travel and meet him in the presidential palace or the presidential villa in Helsinki. But surprisingly, Ibrahim Traoré turned down that offer. He was like, no, I have no interest on seeing you or visiting you. I have no interest in you. I have just one mission in your country, and I'm going to fulfill that before leaving. This did not sit well with Alexander Stubb. He also sent his prime minister in the person of Peteru Opo, so as to try and convince Ibrahim Traoré to visit him in his presidential villa. But Traoré also turned down the offer or the request coming from Peteru Opo, who, like I said, is the Prime Minister of Finland. So the question here is, why is Ibrahim Traoré in Finland, a country in Europe? Why did this man travel from Burkina Faso to this part of the world? Well, for a clearer picture and a better understanding, showing right now on your screen is a statement made by Ibrahim Traoré before he embarked on this short journey to Finland. It reads, I would like to express my gratitude to all the peace-loving, freedom-loving patriots and Pan-Africanists who rallied around the world on Wednesday, which was on the 30th of April of 2025, to support our commitment and our vision for a new Burkina Faso and a new Africa, free from imperialism and neo-colonialism. Your active solidarity and this demonstration of sympathy strengthens our conviction that the fight we are waging for a fairer and more equitable world is justified. Like I said, this is coming from the official Twitter handle or the official Twitter page or X page of Ibrahim Traoré. This man categorically stated that he's against neo-colonialism and imperialism. He doesn't want the Western world to have any form of influence in the African continent. He wants the whole wide world to treat Africans in any part of the world justly and fairly, without any form of compromise. This is the reason why he traveled from Burkina Faso to Finland. Yes, he traveled to Finland so as to meet Africans who are unjustly locked up in series of correctional centers in that said country. Yes. So when this man known as Ibrahim Traoré arrived in Helsinki yesterday, he made a trip straight to Lati. Yes, this man has a particular interest in an individual situated or located in Lati, a man known as Mr. Simon. This man known as Simon is being held or locked up in a correctional center which is known as the Kilamakowski prison. This prison happens to be one of the toughest and one of the hardest prisons in that country. Even at some point, Netflix had to do a documentary covering how hard and how difficult it is to survive in Kilamakowski Correctional Center. And that is why Ibrahim Traoré had to travel to Lati so as to meet an individual locked up in that center. Surprisingly, when Ibrahim Traoré arrived in Lati, he noticed that he cannot do all of these things all by himself. He cannot carry the weight of Africa on his shoulders alone. Yes, Ibrahim Traoré cannot do all of these things all by himself. And that is why he had no choice but to call he placed a call across to a lady, to an African woman known as Netumbo Nandi Ndatiwa. Well, just in case you don't know who this lady is, showing right now on your screen is a photograph of her. This woman happens to be the president, the current and the sitting president of Namibia, and she was sworn into power on the 21st of March of 2025. Over the past couple of days, the president of Namibia have shown great strides that she shares the same mentality and ideology with Ibrahim Traoré, and that is why Traoré had no option. He had limited options but to call her and inform her of the struggles he noticed in Lahti, a city in Finland that is home to hundreds and thousands of Africans. Yes, while in Lahti, Finland, Ibrahim Traoré was greeted by an individual representing Simon, a man, like I said, is currently being held in Kilamakoski Correctional Center. Some individuals representing the United States of Biafra government, the USB as it's fondly called, visited Ibrahim Traoré in Lahti, Finland, in a particular residence. Yes, they had a short meeting, they had a quick meeting, and these guys from the USB nation briefed Traoré on the current situation and the current happenings regarding Mr. Simon. Well, just in case you don't know, Simon happens to be the prime minister of this USB government, or the USB nation, as the case may be. And that is why individuals from this said USB government had to visit Traoré and brief him on the recent happenings and the recent case of Simon. Well, Ibrahim Traoré informed the leaders of this USB nation that, see, I cannot rescue Africa and Africans alone. I've already placed a call to the president of Namibia and she's on board. But I want you, the leaders of this USB government, I would want you to send a formal letter to her informing her of what you want and also asking her to recognize your country or your nation as a sovereign state. Well, showing right now on your screen is a letter sent to the sitting president of Namibia from the USB government. It reads, "Breaking Department of State Foreign Affairs. As we continue to exercise our rights as independent states, the USB government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Simon, represented by the Deputy Prime Minister in the person of Ngozi Oreboweze, has officially notified the government of the Republic of Namibia under the leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Ndepupelila Nandi Ndatiwa of the restoration and independence of the USB government through their diplomatic channel." So as you can see, the USB nation has officially written to the president of Namibia informing her that, see, we want you to recognize our government, we want you to recognize our state as being sovereign, and we need your assistance. Well, the president of Namibia has fully pledged her allegiance to the movement, to the USB nation. And now, let's go to the most interesting part of this whole video. Remember that I told you that Ibrahim Traoré traveled to Finland so as to seek justice, seek fair hearings, and probably released some Africans held or locked up in series of correctional centers. So Ibrahim Traoré managed to meet with Mr. Simon, a man held in Kilamakoski Correctional Center. Yes, he met with this man, and he also met with his lawyer, the lawyer representing Simon in the court of law, in the person of Carl Gumeres. They had a series of discussions and conversations that they want to be kept private. They don't want these conversations to come out on social media or any media publication in any way, shape or form. They want the conversation to be held in private and stay in private. So as we speak, Mr. Simon has met with the president of Burkina Faso, and a lot of conversations has been had. Well, and Burkina Faso's president is currently trying to push buttons, make phone calls so that this man will be granted full bail so that he can return back to his family members and his loved ones. Ibrahim Traoré was actually surprised that this man known as Simon has been in Kilamakoski Correctional Center from the 21st of November of 2024 up until this day and time. Yes, he was arrested in Finland on the 21st of November of 2024 and taken straight to the Kilamakoski Correctional Center. And this man has spent a total of 132 days in the Finnish Correctional Center. And Traoré isn't too happy with that particular outcome. And as we speak, he's also pushing that this man will be granted bail in the coming days. But then, While Ibrahim Traore was in Finland negotiating with the Paijahame district court in Lati, something interesting was happening in Nigeria that we all need to see at this point in time. Yes, a particular group in Nigeria that wants to create their own country, a group that wants to create its sovereign state, noticed that Ibrahim Traore and some African leaders are now in support of the USB movement. This group in Nigeria had to come out and also make their own self known. Well, showing right now on your screen is a publication coming from the Vanguard, released a couple of hours back. It states, Yoruba Nation supports Captain Traore, wants reforms in Africa. This came as a shocker. This publication also went a step further to state that the Yoruba Nation, comprising Yoruba communities across the globe, has declared its support for the president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore, describing him as key figure in Africa's ongoing struggle for true independence and sovereignty. Yes, this is coming from Yoruba Nation. This came as a shocker because this particular group have been quiet in the past couple of months. They have been very, very quiet, and all of a sudden they noticed that Ibrahim Traore is now in support of the USB movement, and they had to come out and make their own claims known. This is a very, very interesting one. Yes. Anyways, moving on swiftly, the president of the most powerful nation of the world, in the person of Trump, has officially approved and recognized the USB army and its military forces. Yes. This came as a shocker because nobody was expecting